Welcome to this guide of the Null sector. It is a new section of the map on the Prometheus planet in Icarus. It is very inhospitable here. This region does not mess around. There's two sections of this map. One's going to be volcanic. The other one is going to be frozen. In the volcanic section, you're not going to find anything like thatch, sticks, wood, plants. There's no foliage whatsoever to be found in the Null sector. It is all barren rock and lava. And some, very little bit, but some resources. Ore is scarce around here. You'll only find ore in some caves. You won't find it laying around like you do everywhere else. This whole area has hostile animal life that you're going to have to deal with. Some of them have been infected with the exotics and are effectively cursed. There's an exotic disease here that could easily kill you over its 1 hour time span, and it cannot be cured. And every once in a while it'll spawn off additional debuffs on you, just stacking upon stack upon stack of debuffs until you're at the point where you might as well just end it. So you can deal with all the secondary stuff with medication, but you can't with the primary. This volcanic zone is also an area-wide debuff. It's going to cost an additional 500% consumption of your water. It's going to also, in the ice section, you're going to have a increased consumption of food by 50%. Bonus, food will rot 50% less. So there's always a good idea. So you're going to need some guidelines, and this guide is going to tell you how to get into the Null sector, what you need to prepare for to live, thrive, and survive in this environment, and we will go on from there. The first thing to note is that as a prospector, before you come in here, I highly recommend that you are max level with full T4 knowledge. You're going to be using a lot of T4 gear in here, and so it is highly recommended that you be fully skilled up, have your perk tree built out, and also have all the blueprints unlocked. Treat this entry into here as a endurance run. Don't think that you're going to come in here, do a quick strike on these missions, and get back out. You really do need to establish bases as you go so that you can project your power and your force and come back and resupply from those areas rather than trying to do it from the entrance. You're going to find that the one-by-one rest stops are going to be very important. We're going to cover that here in a few seconds. And also it gives you somewhere to retreat to or even get up on top and fight off if you have to, pass the night, pass the storm. Placing a full T4 base inside here as well in the volcanic zone to operate from, and another one in the ice sheet are both going to be highly recommended. So let's get into some additional things. Let's talk about gear. The first key to survival in the Null sector is going to be your gear. You're going to want to have a full set of T4 equipment when you go in. And so you'll want to make sure you take a look here at your tech tree. You want to get yourself all the way up to tier 4. Get all the stuff that normally you would require, things like armor, tools, weapons, whatever else it is you're going to want. Plus, you're going to need to be worrying about T4 level base stuff like the oxidizer, the water purifier, and all of that. You're going to need those too. I recommend going in with a full set of armor that is augmented. Here I have the obsidian armor. This is the tier 4 obsidian armor. It's going to give you a nice high resistance to heat up in the 70s. It also gives you some pretty good cold, so this will work too in the frozen biome. And it gives you a very high physical resist. Be sure to modify these the way you like. I typically put in 2 different plates of armor. I put in the rubber boots. I put in the tool in the glove, and filter in the mask. Make sure you take in something like the ion backpack. Take in your T4 tank. I usually bring down the one from the up in the habitat because it gives me a bonus to fresh air, which is always nice. You can also take in a canteen. There's 2 types of canteen. One gives you heating, one gives you cooling. You might want to bring them both. That way you'll have both the heating and cooling debuffs or buffs on you to take in. And you probably want to bring in some extra water as well. Be sure that you bring in also with you food. The kinds of food that you're going to want are going to be all the normal stuff that you might normally get. Really, I have the most basic types of food available. on my character here, and that's going to be things like the soybeans. I also have a T1, a 1x1 rest stop in a box on my back. We're going to cover that again here a little later in the video. But first, we got the kinds of meat. Basically, basic food is going to be good enough, but you might also want to go in with some of the best stuff if you want to. That's going to be things like the fruit muffin, the meat pie, and the savory roll, the shepherd's roll here. These will give you really decent buffs for both your stamina, your health, and give you some shared experience too if you have some other folks that you're going to be going in with. So this is going to be the setup that I take in with myself. Make sure you bring in some extra arrows. I have also a med kit with me. I fully loaded out this med kit. I recommend you do the same thing. Make sure you bring in suture kits, bandages, all the antibiotic pills, or the different pills, antibiotics, anti-poison, all of those. Bring in some health, splints. You can even bring in vitamins, heat and cold wraps too, in case you get heat stroke or frostbite. All of these things will help to ensure that you stay alive. And again, you might end up consuming all these medicines if you end up with the exotic disease, which will last for 60 minutes. Nothing you can do about it. But then you get into these and you get to do that. So take in your favorite weapons, take in your tools, take in your T4, because the danger is real. When I go in, I have taken in pets, but you can see here I've lost a buffalo to the disease. I've lost various animals. The environment has got a lot of stuff that's hostile, and if you're not really careful about taking care of your animals, they're going to get eaten. So that's both a bonus and a curse. They're nice to take in because they got extra carry. You can move fairly quickly, but if I go into scout, I typically go into scout without an animal, so I don't have to worry about it. I can focus on what I'm doing. But if you're also looking to get in there and be able to get out quickly, taking in one of your other animals like a bird, a moa, was as a nice quick way of getting in and out. But you do have to keep your eye on them and manage them. Turn your back once, and you got to mount on the wall. I would also highly recommend that you get yourself a ox, one of these guys here. The buffalo are going to give you a lot of carry with the cart, and we're going to need that kind of carry later on. We would talk about a T4 base in a box. The T4 base in the box is the cart. The cart's going to carry the whole T4 base, and we're going to be able to move in, establish a base, and go. Don't think you're going to go in there and scrounge for all the pieces to make a T4 base. Can you? Yeah, if you really try hard, but it's not worth it. Go in with the T4, be good. There is a mission to take. You need to take this mission here on the on your mission board. That will give you the trail beacon prototype and the trail beacons that you'll need to actually complete all of those missions on the null sector side and to get in. But let's talk about the 1x1 rest stop in a box. The 1x1 rest stop in a box. I'm up here at the top of the map of Prometheus. I'm towards the Arctic region at the moment. I recommend placing 1x1s at all of the boundaries between various environments so that you have some place to jump into. It's really easy. It's one piece of a concrete flooring or concrete base. It's 4 walls. It's a roof. It's a door. It's a campfire with something to burn, and it's a bedroll. That's all you need. You just want to be able to place something down that you can get in, sleep through the night, wait for the storm to pass, or even get up on top of it or be inside it to give a little bit more defense when you're trying to fight something. So this is, I use concrete because it's not affected by weather. If you use something other than concrete, like I did here, this is what ends up happening to it over time. You'll come back to it a while later and it's a mess. And so you got to fix it all up. And if it's bad enough, all of the stuff that you put down inside is going to be destroyed. So your bedroll's destroyed, your bed's destroyed. You'll need the campfire. Easiest thing, throw down your foundation, throw up the four walls on it. One of them likely to be a doorway. If you don't have a door with you, you can always put the last one down inside while you're in there, and it still functions just as it should. You can throw your roof on. Really quick thing to set up. So you can see that I got that done. We're going to get in here. We're going to throw down our bedroll. Now, when you put down the campfire, try to stick it in the farthest corner you can. And the reason for this is you want to be able to wake up and not be standing in the fire. To that end, I would suggest putting down your bedroll with the head away from, or at the far corner from the campfire, so that it is in a place where you're most likely not going to be waking up with your feet in the fire. You can test it, get in, get out, don't move. Just wake up, look down, look around, see where you're standing. I am not standing in the campfire. This is a good setup. If you're standing in the campfire, you'll set it on fire, you'll set your bed on fire, you'll be running around like a chicken with its head cut off. Don't do that. All right, so once we've got that all set up, we can leave it. We can actually set our spawn point here if we want to, or we could just use it to get past the night. It's really easy to pick it right back up. You just tear it apart. I would suggest also, while you do all this, to be sure that you've parked your critter. You can use things like this for a place to hide if you want to. I'm just going to take a moment here. Hopefully it doesn't take you this long to set it up. There we go. Now I can get up on top, and I can use this as a bunker, in effect. Now I can start a fight. Oh, look, you're down. Yeah. Go away. So feel free to use your 1x1 base either for a rest area, as a hunting, a lodge, or a spot to fire from, defend, get yourself up there. But be sure to, if you bring your ammo, park it up somewhere where it's away. That's what happened here. I parked him up on a wall, and he attracted a bunch of things. Now we're going to go ahead and grab him, and we're going to go ahead and get out. So that's your 1x1 rest stop in a box, or rest stop in your back. Always carry one with you is my recommendation. And definitely carry it into the null sector. You're going to be putting these down periodically as you move. If it's a permanent thing, I would put down a beacon so you can mark it. That way you know where they are if you need to get nearby it. Give it some nice name, give it a little bit of distance, and then you're good to go. Now let's talk about a T4 base in a box. So now you're prepped and ready to get into null sector. You've got all your gear equipped. You know what the environment is. You took your T1 base on the back and maybe you even planted it down here somewhere. Now I'm at the very bottom of the lava zone. I'm not going to open up my map. I've got a lot of stuff mapped out on the null sector side, and being an introductory guide, I don't want to show that to you. So we're just going to look at it from this point of view. If you can figure out what it is great. But there's the entrance back here to where we're going to go. Now, my suggestion is when you're going to go in there, besides being all geared up and ready to go with your 1x1 rest stop on your back, you want to take what I call a T4 base in a box. And here's my T4 base in a box. Now, this is specifically geared for null sector. Keep in mind that the environment we're going to be going into is not only inhospitable, but there's a lot of stuff that we don't have. We don't have water. We don't have foliage. We don't have oxide. So we need to bring in things that are going to make us as sustainable as possible. You can't get to absolute sustainability until you get like way into a fully established base. You can get there, but this is what we're going to be required. Let me go through this first. We have a 3x4 base. I'm making it out of concrete so that it can survive all of the storms. The door for that base, I've got a bed for that base, and I have some form of fire so that I can sleep. Here I have a fireplace. You could put in a fire pit or a campfire instead if you wish, and a little bit of fuel just to be able to fire it up, go to sleep, turn it off. Next thing you're going to want to have is the ability to build out. So I have here a fabricator. I'll swap these things around. I have an electric furnace, these two things, and then I have the material process. These three items here are the key to building everything else. I'm going to bring with me a little bit of a boost here in the form of a cement mixer. You can also bring in a T4 masonry bench if you want. That will make yourself concrete as well. I also am bringing a powered creature deterrent to suppress the spawns around where I'm going to put my base. This is going to be fairly important, otherwise you're going to be under constant attack and you don't want to deal with that. I have some way of cooking with the electric stove and also a kitchen bench to allow me to do things like carve up meat, turn it into fat, resupply my lantern if I'm using the fat form lantern. Right now I have electric. Next, we got power. I'm going to use 3 solar panels. There's a number of people on panels and stuff that are saying you should use windmills because the storms and the like cause a degradation in the solar panels. That may be in fact true. However, I have not noticed it. I find 3 solar panels to be sufficient to power a base as long as you're sleeping through the night. If you try to go through the night, then that's a different matter. Then you need more of these, but you're going to want to bring with you a advanced battery pack. Don't forget you can put it down and charge it up. You can see this one's already fully charged. Fully charge it before you come in here so that you have power right from the get-go. We've got the bed, which we talked about, and then you're going to bring in your prototype trail beacon and prototype beacons with you as well. And then on top of that, you want to have some form of oxygen and water in the form of the oxygen synthesizer and the water purifier at T4. And you have to bring in water with you because there is no water available in the null sectors that you're going to find. You can find frozen water, but it's frozen, so you can't really get to it. There is the water can here for maybe watering your animals, but these portable water tanks are intended to give water to your base until you do something kind of crazy, which you probably can tell right there. I did. I ran a water pipe for miles. But let's get in here. You can either place your base, your T4 base in a box here, which is right at the entrance. I choose to put my rest stop here, and I choose to put in a contact thing here, the orbital exchange interface, because you cannot use an orbital exchange interface in the null zone. You cannot order stuff from the workshop. You can't send up exotics. You have to come out of that zone into this one. This is the very first place you can do it, so this is why I throw that here. Once I load up on exotics and stuff, I come out, I fire something up, send it down, load it up, send it back up, go back into the null zone. Now this is a minor-ish spoiler. So this is the cave you go through. You can already see that I've got beacons down to mark the position of getting in here. And I'm going to go over here. We're going to build a T4 base in a box and put it down. If you follow my live streams and stuff, I'm going to pull this back up. But let's talk about where we're going to base up. There's a couple places. I would suggest if you haven't based up on the other side of that cave, base up in here somewhere. You need some place to project your power, to project your ability to get into this zone. And all of the zones going to have rough terrain like this stuff right in here, so you're going to want to be careful about where you place it. I suggest that wherever you place it, don't place it out in the open. Put it somewhere somewhat isolated. I'm going to pick a new place. I'm not going to pick that place up there. You can see ramps going up. I've got a base right up there. That's not a bad place with the creature deterrent. But this also is a place you can put it, maybe up in here. Let's see how we're doing. Can I stick it right in here, or do I want to go over to the other side? I could probably put it right in here. Let's do this. All right, so we're going to grab this base in the box. Let's get the walls and floors and ceilings and stuff up first. You can see I've got my normal ramps, so we will end up going through those. 8. I am probably going to do something like 1, 2. Get this out of the way. Should probably have cleared this before we got in here, but hey. 6, 7, 8. There. This is going to be a 3x4. Okay. 9. Hold the R key to get the different forms of windows. Make sure your arrows are pointing out. Take the other side of that. I like the 2x. Whoop, that didn't hit wide and delete. There we go. Let's go ahead and get the full window, or the smaller window there, and then that one there, and we will put a doorway here, and we'll follow that up with the door, and then we'll put in our roof. Can hold the R key. I tend to use these for ease of access. You will have dread wings around here, so you can't leave stuff sitting outside. If you leave stuff sitting outside, it will get eaten. And that's no fun to have to deal with. I think I mentioned somewhere else, and I don't know where that piece went, but it went somewhere. I'll have to go find it. There it is. So my suggestion is, as soon as you got this thing down, bring in your pet inside if you have one with you, which you probably do, because if you're carrying all this stuff, you kind of need it. All right. So now we're going to put down a few other things. One of if I have this chimney, this is going to require a floor piece. I don't have a floor piece on me, do I? No. Nope. My bad. Let's put the rest of the stuff down. The first three things you're going to absolutely need. I'm going to put the fabricator there. I'm going to put the electric furnace next to it. You choose, you do you as far as how much you want to be all anal about getting perfect spacing, but I think things are going to be fine. All right. So we've got the water and air, and we also got the kitchen stuff. Put down water and air. I usually put that over near the entry, so I can walk in and power up, or get my oxygen going or my water going if I need to. Okay. We have kitchen piece. Oh, nope. Remember that the kitchen block needs to go in first. I'll put it on that side since it doesn't want to go on the other. 8. This is going to give me my cement. This is going to allow me to expand my building. We will place my power down. And in fact, I think the power could go right over here with all these other things where I can look at it. And that's done. Done a bed. Your power you're going to want to put somewhere. I usually like to put it off the side of my building up here, but I think I'm going to do it on the outside. So let's go ahead and do it right here. Whatever you do, you want to get the sun to be able to go across like this. So if you're further out in the open, the better. I will show you my solution for the other base here in a minute. Okay. And the last thing I'm going to want to put down is the creature turn. I'm going to push this onto a side that has the most distance I can cover from the base out to the open. I'm going to be a little bit sloppy about this. Forgive me. Water. This doesn't need to be pretty, just needs to be functional. Okay. So now I can hook up to the thing. And you can see right now that my battery pack is staying at 6,000 because I'm getting enough power from that. Next, I'm going to do some water. We know that we wanted water over here, so let's get some water going. You may want to consider whether or not you want all of this stuff hooked up to water, but again, you guys do you. Okay, so there's all the water. I typically would like to put this stuff outside, so there's that. Let's grab barrels. G, place that down. Grab the other barrel. G, place that down. And now we can get both of these hooked into there. All right. So now if I come in here, you can see that I have water. And I also have air, so if I want to come in, and I got power, so if I want to, I'll shut this door for a second if I need to. I need some water. Okay, let's go ahead and grab some water. If I need oxygen, let's grab some oxygen. I've got oxygen. You're good to go. Everything is all set for you. You don't, now that you're here, next thing you'll do is end up just collecting resources and start processing through them and then expand from here. Long term. Way up there on that little floor, I have a couple of, I have 2 solar panels up there. Could probably use another. On this building over here, I have, I had 3 windmills, but one of them fell apart in the storms because it kept going in and out. You can see because I have my thing here that I've got, and I'll get over here so we can get a better look at things. Maybe. There we go. You can see that I've got the power running all the way down to here and into the building. It works just fine. You can also see that there's the water that comes in from the other zone here, and then it goes off to my other bases in the lake down that way. And yes, it does work. That's T4 base in the box. We just got set up. We're all good to go. Now we can do whatever we want. You can continue to add things, recharging stations, floor for putting down the fireplace, which I don't have right now. Any of those. So come back and join me in the next guide, and also happy hunting, happy exploring. Take care. Bye-bye.
Strangers, believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, beneath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my bite. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf, I'm a lone wolf, I'm a lone wolf, I'm a lone wolf, I'm a